Good people, it's Pete Thorn. Welcome to the studio. Hey, from the nice folks at Origin Effects, check it out. Brand new pedal from one of my favorite pedal companies. It's the RD Compact Hot Rod. So I've been a big fan of the original Revival Drive pedal that came out a number of years ago. I did a demo for it, and I still think it's probably the best Marshall in a box pedal on the planet. Just incredibly amp-like, and what's really cool about it is it's got these post-EQ controls in it that basically let you tailor that pedal to work either into the front end of a bright amp, the front end of a darker amp, or even as a preamp, and you can run it right into a power amp and not even use an amp with it. And it kind of blew my mind like that. I remember when I did the demo for the original one, I ran it into my Matrix power amp and I tried to match the tone of my Marshall JMP amp, and I got so close that it was like scary. And lo and behold, the Revival Drive Compact Hot Rod gives you that ability as well. You've got the 3-position switch right here that lets you tune the response of the pedal for brighter amps, darker amps, or even to use it as a preamp right into a power amp. And then you've got a pot here that kind of further tailors and fine-tunes the response depending on what you're running into. Now, reading right off their website, just to tell you a little bit about what they were going for with this pedal. The RD Compact Hot Rod packs huge hot-rodded amp tones into a compact enclosure, following in the tradition of the amp technicians whose experiments helped define the sounds of hard rock and early heavy metal. We have endowed our Revival Drive Compact pedal with more gain and a whole new personality. So obviously they're going for the, the kind of modded amp character that folks like, Levi and Jose Arredondo and Lee Jackson and all these guys were modifying Marshalls starting around the late 70s into the 80s, adding more gain stages and that kind of thing. That's what they're going for with this pedal. But that's not to say that it can't do classic Marshall tones. It can totally get you into like AC/DC, Free, Bad Company, and even Cream kind of territory with just how you set the controls. So in true Origin fashion, they're going for amp topology, is that the right word? I guess here. It says on the website, complete hot-rodded valve amp style signal path with dedicated Class A preamp, long-tailed pair phase inverter, and push-pull output stage. So full on like Marshall style circuit, but recreated in pedal format. Reactive overdrive design simulates interaction between amp and speaker for a realistic feel and authentic sound, accurately recreates power supply sag for subtle natural compression, all that good stuff. The controls are quite unique on the pedal. There's a dry mix control here that's really, really powerful and allows you to get some of those sort of more like lower gain AC/DC or, kind of old school Marshall tones really accurately. Or if you turn it all the way up, you're really into high gain modded territory then. And this control is very active and interactive with the gain control. So by reducing this control, you're mixing in more clean signal, and then you can kind of turn up the gain control and you'll get a different high gain character than if you turn the gain control down and then mix all the clean signal out. So the only way for me to really demonstrate this is just to show you. So what I'm going to do is actually play a loop in a minute here through my TC Ditto looper that just keeps repeating, and I'm going to turn these knobs and you'll hear right away the interaction between the gain and this dry mix control. They actually call it the blend control. Other controls on the pedal, another one that's really powerful and unique to, an Origin pedal here for sure, is this one right here. This allows you to get either the effect of a presence circuit, like you would find on a traditional Marshall amplifier, or it allows you to actually simulate adding less negative feedback into the sound. So on my PT100 signature amp from Sir, we've got a control on there that allows you to control the amount of negative feedback in the signal. Essentially, when you add more negative feedback into the signal, it kind of chills the amp out, makes it a little smoother and a little softer. And if you've got less negative feedback, sort of the more open and brash and kind of wild the amp sounds. You're gonna notice like more highs, more lows, a little less compression. So by turning this control counterclockwise, as you're bringing it down, you're simulating the effect of less negative feedback in the circuit. As you bring it closer to noon, more negative feedback, a little more chilled out. And once you hit noon, then it becomes more like a presence circuit from noon all the way up. Once again, it's just easiest for me to show you when I do the looper portion of the video. I cut different parts in the song at the beginning of the video using that control in a couple different ways. The part that was panned up the center was kind of one of the wild sort of settings with like less negative feedback. And then the one that was actually panned in the left speaker, that was simulating just using it as a presence control. The guitar in the right speaker, I actually ran the pedal straight into my Fryette power station, and I used this as the preamp with no guitar amp. So I'm going to solo all those parts outside of the mix so you can hear them. You'll clearly hear the differences between the different parts. For the parts in the song at the beginning of the video, the rhythm guitar parts, I was running into my PT100 channel 1. except for that one part where I was running it straight into the power station using this as the preamp. So I'll detail all that stuff on the screen here in a sec. For the lead guitar parts in the song at the beginning of the video, I used my PT15 amp from Sir, and I ran into the clean channel. Okay, so enough chat about it. I'm going to solo a bunch of those parts now outside of the mix so you can hear those clearly. The text will be on the screen to explain what's happening, and we'll also do the looper thing with my TC Ditto looper so I can turn the knobs and you'll get to see what all this stuff does. It's the RD Compact Hot Rod from Origin. Here we go. Thanks for watching my video on the RD Compact Hot Rod from Origin Effects. This is just a terrific distortion pedal in the modded Marshall vein. It's a great amp in a box style pedal that you can use either in front of a guitar amp or use it as a full preamp straight into a power amp, maybe right into a guitar cabinet. One thing I didn't even try in this video is using it like a preamp running straight into like my recording interface and adding some speaker simulation in the DAW, but you could totally do that too, and I'm sure it's going to sound good. Maybe we'll try that down the road in another video. I really dig how Origin's always pushing the envelope with these amp style pedals as well as their compressors. They're always thinking outside the box and coming up with cool ideas. The stuff is super quality. It's kind of next level. So look forward to what they come out with next. Thanks Origin for making great stuff. You guys can check it out further. The link down there in the video description below. Click down there. It'll take you to all the info about the RD Compact Hot Rod as well as all the other cool effect pedals from Origin Effects. Please hit subscribe if you haven't. Hit the little bell beside the subscribe. You will get an alert when I put out a new video. When I put out a new video. I'm Pete Thorn. Take care.